everybody, it's Jeff Hopper back with Doug Wicks one more time. We've been talking to you all these many weeks about a mission in life. And last time we finished by talking about the need to sustain a relationship, sustain a commitment for the sake of the gospel. And this time we're going to take up the final step there, which would be handing off the work. I find that I get asked a question a lot when I'm playing with someone I've never played with before. And that is, they'll ask me how long I've been playing. And it's usually being asked by someone who took up the game later in life. And when they find out that I took up the game as a kid and kind of got serious about it in high school, they'll say, well, that's why it looks so easy for you. When somebody is a kind of native to the game, it makes a difference. And it makes a difference, too, in our ministry. A lot of times when we want to hand something off, we're going to say, well, let's hand it off to another expert. Because there are times when transition is necessary. My company moves me. My parents' needs move me. Then my own personal needs might move me as I get later and later in my life. And so I have to say, well, God has had me do a good work. I don't want that good work to go away.
That's right.
Who can take it from me? Right?
Yeah.
You have a passage that you really like in Scripture. It happens in Acts 20, where Paul has spent so much time pouring into these Ephesians. He's raised up elders, and he's going to pass off the work to them. That's a dramatic scene.
It is. You can tell that it's a very emotional scene
Very
for Paul.
emotional.
And I think he knows it's the last time he's going to see them.
Right.
And he spent a long time with them, pouring into them. And but he trusts them. He has been faithful in giving them the word and giving them the tools that they need to carry on. And it's just a beautiful scene of transition.
Now, let me ask you kind of an obvious question. Aren't Ephesians the best equipped people to minister to Ephesians?
Well, of course. But sometimes it takes a catalyst from the outside.
Good.
Right?
Okay.
And to stir things up, to get things going.
Tell me about that in your mission experience.
Oh gosh, this was our story. We're with Wycliffe, and the Wycliffe traditional Wycliffe model was to send a missionary, an expatriate missionary, so an outsider, into a people group where they would stay for 20 or 30 years. And it came a point in the 90s where the number of Wycliffe missionaries they were sending out were fewer and fewer. So the strategy began to change to focus on indigenous translators.
Okay.
And we were at that transition. And I remember where I was when a colleague of mine came to me and said, Doug, are you going to be the one to finish this work? And I said, no, we're not going to be the ones to finish this work. He said, basically, you need to get out of their way. And you need to give them what they need so that they can finish the work, and then you get out of their way. And that's what we began to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, people don't understand sometimes how long it takes to translate the Scriptures into a new language. How long is that normally?
Well,
it's a long job.
Well, under the traditional model, it was 20 or 30 years for a New Testament.
Wow.
It's about 8 to 10 years for a New Testament now.
So it's still a long time.
It's a long time, and it's a very technical, tedious task, and but you want to get it right?
Right, absolutely.
So so it's a big challenge, and finding qualified people to do the translations is hard. And so, but Paul in that passage, he had the trust. I mean, he entrusted this work to the Ephesian elders, and he was ready to pass it off.
Right.
Yeah.
I think sometimes for Links Fellowship leaders and those who are just really involved in a Links Fellowship, they feel like this is my little place. I have not so much a soapbox, but I have a platform here. And it's hard to see that there's a need to ignite others to do the work.
That's right.
But that's so important to the continuation of the gospel work, to a mission in life, that it becomes a mission of other people's lives too.
That's right.
And therefore a mission beyond my life.
Yeah, it's so important, I think, to have a succession plan, especially in an emergency. I mean, what would happen if God were to take you tomorrow? What would happen to this group of people? would there be somebody there who could step in? I think that it's always, Paul always had somebody alongside him.
He did.
That he was training up, a protege, basically, and who he was training to do the work so that he could leave and go start it elsewhere, right?
Great.
Yeah.
Well, that's the difference between, as we said, phrase we used earlier, dropping a bomb, dropping the gospel bomb, and really developing disciples and cultivating people's lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we hope this series has been very meaningful to you. It's been a real pleasure to have Doug here with me, and I hope that you felt like that was the same as you got to know him as well. We will be back soon with a whole new series, and we hope you're with us.